Arsenal make, absolutely phenomenal, star their top transfer target for 2026. Arsenal have made Newcastle United star Tino Livramento their top transfer target for 2026, according to Football Transfers. The Gunners have had a sensational season so far under Mikel Arteta as they sit top of the Premier League and Champions League, as they look to end a 6-year trophy drought, and win their first top-flight title since 2004. The North London side already have one of the best squads in Europe, but as they look to continue to evolve the team, it has now emerged that one England star has been earmarked as a top target for this year. Arsenal want to sign Tino Livramento. Livramento has established himself as a regular at Newcastle since making the move to the club from Southampton, with his performances seeing him described as absolutely phenomenal. Now, Arsenal are ready to try and take him away from St James's Park and back to London, where he came through the Chelsea Academy, and have made him one of their top targets for 2026 to strengthen Arteta's squad. It's currently unclear if the club are planning to make an approach during the January window, but it could be an option for them as they will likely face stiff competition for his signature from the likes of Manchester City. The England international was a target for Pep Guardiola's side last summer, but a move never materialized. Newcastle don't want to lose the 23-year-old and are currently in negotiations about extending his contract with the club, although the defender has stalled those talks until the summer. Arteta and Berta-like versatile quality. Livramento has made a name for himself as a regular at right back, but he is equally capable of playing to a high level at left back, and that's the type of versatility that Arteta loves in his squad. Barring William Saliba and Gabriel, all of his defensive options are able to play in multiple positions, and with Ricardo Calafiori having injury issues and Ben White looking for more game time, Livramento's arrival would be perfect for him to step in and claim a spot. It's also noted that Livramento and Arteta are represented by the same agency, which could make talks over personal terms easier. Arsenal will have to splash the cash to secure a deal for the talented youngster, but Newcastle won't make it easy, and this is likely to drag on for some time before a conclusion is reached. Crystal Palace agreement could block Manchester City January transfer. Manchester City are stepping up their interest in Marc Guéhi, but there are no guarantees Crystal Palace and Guéhi will agree to a January move. Sami Mokbel broke the news for the BBC on Monday that Manchester City were emerging as contenders to sign Marc Guéhi from Crystal Palace in the January transfer window, exploring a move following injuries to Josko Vardiol and Ruben Dias over the weekend. Vardiol has suffered a broken leg and could well be out of action for the rest of the season, whilst Dias' situation remains unclear and John Stones is also currently injured. Mokbel added that City would wait to figure out the full extent of Dias' injury before making a final decision on Guéhi. Their interest has progressed and a January move shouldn't be ruled out. David Ornstein then reported for The Athletic on Tuesday morning that City do hold a strong interest in Guéhi, as the only one of his suitors weighing up a move this month. With Guéhi's Palace contract expiring in the summer, most are waiting and hoping to snap him up as a free agent. Yet Ornstein adds that there's an amicable understanding between Palace and Guéhi that he'll see out the final months of his Palace contract, and there are no guarantees that will change. Then if Palace and Guéhi receive an attractive proposal, there's still time for City to make a serious approach for Guéhi this month, but the ball is ultimately in the court of the player and his current club. The likes of Bayern Munich and Liverpool would also be interested in him this summer. From an Arsenal perspective, the Gunners will be hoping City fail to make any January additions at the back, given Pep Guardiola's side are their primary Premier League title rivals. Guéhi has been in strong form in recent months, and it would certainly give a boost to City to have a good replacement for their injured players. But the move isn't necessarily the best one for Guéhi himself, as he'd likely find himself relegated to a backup once City's starters returns. His other suitors may be able to offer him a first-choice role for the long term. Adu shocked Arsenal supporters at the end of 2024 when he chose to leave the club only weeks after helping to finalize a new contract for Mikel Arteta. His departure came as a surprise, particularly given his growing influence behind the scenes and the stability he had helped to create at the Emirates Stadium during his tenure. The Brazilian had endured a challenging beginning to his time in North London before eventually becoming Arsenal's first-ever sporting director. Through patience and careful planning, he played a central role in reshaping the club's football structure and recruitment strategy. Despite that progress, Adu opted to pursue a new professional challenge away from Arsenal. New role and rising pressure. Adu moved into a senior position working for Greek businessman Evangelos Marinakis, taking on the role of global head of football. In this capacity, he oversees Nottingham Forest, Olympiacos, and Rio Avenue FC. His appointment was confirmed publicly on the 7th of July 2025, and he has since been tasked with improving performance and coordination across all three clubs. The role represented a significant step, reflecting the reputation Adu had built during his successful spell at Arsenal. However, the environment he entered is known for high expectations and limited patience. Marinakis has a long-standing reputation for making swift decisions regarding senior staff, particularly when results fail to meet targets. Mikel Arteta. Arsenal exit under scrutiny. At Arsenal, Adu was widely regarded as effective and well-trusted. The club would have preferred to continue working with him for many years, believing he managed the squad and long-term planning well. Following his exit, Arsenal moved quickly to appoint Andrea Berta, who has made an impressive start in the role. Now, Adu's decision to leave may be coming under question. According to Give Me Sports, his position is currently under review, with concerns that his work has not delivered the desired success, especially at Nottingham Forest. The report suggests he is now close to being dismissed, a development that would mark a sharp contrast to the stability he enjoyed at Arsenal. If that outcome materializes, it could prompt reflection on a move that once appeared ambitious and well-earned. Leaving a secure and respected role for a more volatile environment may ultimately prove costly for Adu, particularly given the strong platform he had established in North London. Guardiola confirms Manchester City double injury blow. Pep Guardiola has confirmed a double injury blow to Manchester City's centre-backs, with both Ruben Dias and Josko Vardiol now ruled out for at least a month. Manchester City suffered a double injury setback during the weekend game against Chelsea, with both Ruben Dias and Josko Vardiol leaving the field of play early. City quickly confirmed that Vardiol had suffered a tibial fracture to his right leg, with surgery scheduled for later this week. They added that assessment remains ongoing to ascertain the full extent of the injury and expected prognosis. City fans then had to wait until Pep Guardiola's press conference on Tuesday for an update on Dias, and it turned out to be more bad news. Ruben Dias, hamstring for 4 to 6 weeks, Guardiola revealed. John Stones, no idea. Not ready for the next games. Nathan Ake fine. Josko Vardiol out for a long time. In terms of City's remaining options, Guardiola explained, Kusa Abdukodir Kuzanov and Nathan are back as central defenders. Max Alin came back from the loan. I appreciate what Watford have done for the young lad. It's certainly a blow, with City facing a minimum of 4 weeks without Dias or Vardiol. Some reporters have suggested Vardiol could even be out for the season, which isn't too outlandish for a player facing surgery on a broken leg with 5 months left of the current campaign. But given it's Manchester City, there's every chance the club will now splash tens of millions on an experienced replacement in the remainder of the January window. The club have already been strongly linked with Crystal Palace defender Mark Guéhi, and it remains to be seen if there's any significant progress on that move in the coming days. Pep Guardiola confirms devastating Man City blow to hand title boost to Arsenal. Manchester City will be without Josko Vardiol for a long time, with Ruben Dias also facing up to 6 weeks on the sidelines. Pep Guardiola's side were dealt 2 devastating injury blows in Sunday's 1-1 draw with Chelsea, with both defenders forced off in the second half. City confirmed on Monday Vardiol will undergo surgery on a broken shinbone. While there is no specific timeline on how long the Croatia international will be unavailable for, Guardiola said at a press conference on Tuesday he will be out for a long time. Dias meanwhile had played the full 90 minutes in all but one of City's Premier League games this season before he was forced off after 81 minutes on Sunday. Speaking ahead of Wednesday's clash against Brighton, Guardiola confirmed his defender will be unavailable for a month minimum. It is a hamstring. 4 to 6 weeks, Guardiola said. City are already without John Stones, who has not featured since the start of December due to a thigh injury. The England international has started just 4 league games this term, with his manager explaining he is no closer to a return. No idea. He is not ready for the next games, Guardiola said. City have already sought reinforcements by recalling Max Alleen from his loan spell at Watford. They have also emerged as contenders to sign Mark Guéhi from Crystal Palace, with blows for Vardiol and Stones possibly set to accelerate. Plans to sign the Crystal Palace star. Guéhi has entered the final 6 months of his contract at Selhurst Park. Everybody knows it is difficult, Guardiola said of the current defensive woes at the Etihad. We have Nathan Ake back, a central defender. Max Alleen has come back from his loan at Watford. Draws against Sunderland and Chelsea in their last 2 games have seen City give up ground to Arsenal in the title race. Mikel Arteta's side now sit 6 points clear of City, with those injury blows at the back doing little to help their cause in the coming weeks. After the Brighton game on Wednesday, City are in FA Cup action against Exeter City before a huge Manchester derby on the 17th of January.